Hello and welcome to our webinar. I'd like to welcome our listeners around Australia. My name's Joe Tadaro, Advisor Education Analyst at North. I'm going to be taking you through the latest round of enhancements we've made to the North platform. Today, we'll introduce you to the changes that are coming soon that will help you reduce transacting times and your overall cost to serve using the North platform. Changes to Switch Investments will now provide you with the ability to display an estimate of one-off and ongoing fees should a proposed switch be completed, along with downloading a record of advice data which will help you to complete your ROA template associated with an investment switch. These changes follow a complete re-engineering of the Switch Investment screen on North Online earlier this year. We would like to say a big thanks to all the advisors who have provided us with a huge amount of ongoing feedback and direction, as this feedback has led to the enhancements that you'll see today. It has never been more important to ensure that we're delivering new and important solutions to support you, your business, and your clients. As mentioned, we're confident that these changes will help reduce those transacting times and overall cost to serve with using the platform. If you've joined us for a webinar before, you'll know that you can ask questions at any time during the session. On the left-hand side menu within the chat icon, go ahead and type in a question, and we'll endeavour to get back to you upon the conclusion of the session within the next 24 to 48 hours. I will also collate a list of questions and answers and email them out to all of you, along with a copy of this presentation pack. So there's no need to be frantically scribing down all the information as it comes through. I'll get it all out to you. If for any reason the audio drops out, please close your browser and reopen the session. And that should really fix it up for you. But if you're still having technical difficulties, then this session, as always, will be recorded and then uploaded to North Online. Let's take the opportunity now to jump onto North Online and I'll show you where that will be listed. So now we're on North Online, and just across the top we're looking for the support heading. Head down to training videos and then scroll down and we're looking for webinar recordings, and this is where all of our webinars will be listed, including today's session. If you're unfamiliar with the Switch Investment screen on North Online, I'd encourage you to review our webinar recording from earlier this year. And for the latest and up-to-date information, please visit News and Announcements on North Online for key information. Today, I'll introduce you to the exciting changes, and you'll get a glimpse of the new features and learn their application on North Online. We'll also provide a system demonstration to see the changes in action. And then we'll finish our session today with the support tools you can take back with you into your practice. So without further delay, let's delve into those enhancements. I'd like to introduce you to the improvements to North in two key areas that are coming soon, each of which I'll take you through comprehensively today. The first is a new proposed fees tab to the Switch Investment screen, which will display an estimate of one-off and ongoing fees. The second change is the ability to download an ROA data, which will help you complete an ROA associated with an investment switch. So the question is, why have we delivered these enhancements? Well, switches are one of the most common transactions, with close to 100,000 completed annually on North Online. It has never been more important in 2020 due to market volatility, which was attributed to COVID-19. We're building on the Switch Investment screen enhancements delivered in August, which received really great feedback, and we want to continue assisting your business in reducing cost to serve and mitigating business risks. ROA support featured heavily when we asked advisors what enhancements would be beneficial to their business. There is predominantly the feedback from advisors and support staff like you out there that are requesting these enhancements, and most importantly, which would be beneficial to your business. So like the feedback that you can see in your screen, we're wanting to make your lives easier, save you time, create efficiency, and I'm going to say it again, reduce your cost to serve. So let's get started and take a look at the first of these enhancements. The new proposed fees tab within the Switch investment screen will now sit alongside the new proposed investment holdings release implemented earlier this year. So this is what it looks like. The new tab will look like this and will sit alongside the Switch investments and proposed investments holdings tabs. A new proposed tab to the Switch investment screen will display an estimate of one-off and ongoing fees should a proposed switch be completed. So now let's talk a little bit about those key features. So the proposed fee tab will show current annual fees as well as proposed annual fees after the switch has been completed. And those fees include account fees, administration fees, the investment costs, guarantee fees, if applicable, transaction fees associated with the switch. The proposed fees will automatically take into account individual client fee caps and discounts related to being party to a family fee group. But please note that excludes situations where the family group exceeds the family fee caps, because it won't take into consideration fee sequencing. So for example, if you have a husband and wife in a family group, it won't take into consideration the order of which the fees are deducted. Also, modeling of different investment switch scenarios is made easier with the ability to compare current and proposed fees, as well as current and proposed asset allocation, which is already available. We spoke about that earlier in the enhancement that came in August this year. So that is available on the proposed investment holdings tab. The outputs can be saved for future reference. And what does that mean for you out there? It means no more paperwork. And we're all about making it easier in this enhancement. In the new proposed fees tab, there are 4 key sections that you can see on your screen there. The first is proposed ongoing fee summary bubble, which includes fees such as the account fee, and that doesn't change as a result of the switch request. The administration fee and investment management costs will of course depend on the investment you select to switch into, and it will then total the ongoing fees. The second section entails the proposed ongoing fees into an estimate table breakdown, which displays the individual investment's proposed value and also calls out the fee percentage rate and the dollar amount as well. It will break down the fees into each investment by administration fee, investment cost per annum, and transaction fees too. The transaction fees will break down the buy and sell costs for managed funds and brokerage for equities, if applicable. The third section will display a current and proposed fees in dollar value in a table and graphic, along with the change. The graphic gives you the visual reflection of those changes. And then the last section reflects the one-off fees such as brokerage and buy and sell cost summary, along with a chart. So note that all fees and taxes are estimates. The actual amount charged may vary as a result of the information outlined at the bottom of this particular screen on North Online. And we'll look at those in our demonstration a little bit later on. So we're going to focus on each of these key sections in a moment's time. Let's focus on the proposed ongoing fee bubble. The fee bubble is presented at the top of this new tab, and it summarizes the estimated ongoing fees as a result of that proposed switch. The guarantee fee bubble will only be displayed if applicable. Family fee group's value is listed here if the switch is being performed on an account that is part of the family fee group. The proposed ongoing fees breakdown table provides a breakdown of all remaining proposed investments if the switch action is executed. So as you can see in more granular detail. Each proposed investment will be displayed directly below the relevant subheading, except for the cash account, which will contain an all info on a single row. The proposed value will display the end state of all remaining assets after the proposed full or partial switch. A question mark beside the administration fee will display the MyNorth admin rate table when you hover over it. And we're going to examine this a little bit later on in our session when we look at our demonstration on North Other column headings, an explanation of the column will display when question marks are hovered over. And there's a couple of those which we'll look at later on in our demonstration as well. So where the administration fee is above the fee cap, the full fee before the discount will be displayed. And that's what we mentioned just a couple of moments before. The question mark beside the discounted amount will explain the actual fee charged when you hover over it. Where a managed portfolio is on the account, the estimated indirect costs will be displayed in the investment cost column, in line with the managed portfolio PDS. And a new button will allow information in this table only to be downloaded. Just like most on North Online, select the download button and it will download it to Excel. The proposed one-off fees table will display estimated brokerage and buy and sell costs. The combined buy and sell costs are only calculated at the time of purchase, and this is consistent with the default setting on X plan for the total buy. If you're selling, the buy-sell costs will show a zero amount. So I'm going to talk about this in a couple of moments' time or more in depth on our next slide. So let's talk about those buy-sell costs in further detail. So as mentioned, the combined buy-sell costs displayed in the proposed fee tab are only calculated at the time of purchase. So this is in line with the default setting on X plan. So as demonstrated in this particular table, the buy-sell costs are only displayed where there is a purchase or buy, not when there is a sell. So in this example, we're purchasing North Professional Balanced and BlackRock Global Allocation Fund for $100,000. We're also selling A&P Capital Wholesale Australian Bond Fund and iShares Global Bond Index Fund. As you can see, the buy-sell costs are only reflected when purchasing, and it is zeroed for when selling. Now let's look at an example reflecting the new switch screen. So let's take a bit of a look. In this scenario, we've got Kate, who's an advisor, who's on the phone to their client, and they can't decide between two switch options. And I'm sure many of you out there may have come across this scenario before. So her client is quite fee sensitive and asks Kate to look at various switch options. So what should Kate do? Well, once the proposed fee tab is active, Kate will be able to enter different switch scenarios in the switch instructions screen and then select the new proposed fees screen to view estimated one-off and ongoing associated fees with that particular switch. So Kate can even download the proposed fees table for each switch option and can carry out some switch comparisons as well. So we'll look at this when we do our demonstration in a couple of moments' time. So what are the benefits? Well, obviously, Kate can easily compare switch options in real time so she can discuss them with the client on the spot based upon those estimates. So over the phone, as the client is fee sensitive, she can tell her each particular switch investment option. And also, there's no more manual paperwork required, as Kate can save the data downloads to a client file. So North Online does all the work for you, making it easier and reducing your cost to serve. So now let's jump onto North Online and you can actually see these changes close up. So let's give that a go. So here we are back onto North Online and we're within a client's account to examine the switch investment screen. So how do we get there? Going across the top, looking for manage investments, down to switch investments. So now we're within the client's switch investment screen and you can see three tabs across the top. The first is the current tab that we're on, which is the switch instructions that we're going to be entering. The second is the proposed investment holdings tab, and that was a part of the changes that were implemented earlier this year, which gives you the ability to make changes on your client account and have a look at those changes before you even submit on the client account. So we'll look at that in a couple of moments' time. And the third is the all new proposed fees tab. So let's have a look at all of this in action. So we've got the Magellan Fund across the top. Let's sell out of that $2,000. And what we want to do is we want to buy into the MyNorth Index balance. So we're going to put $2,000 there. So selling out of one fund, buying into the other. So what effects will that have? So firstly, let's look at the proposed investment holdings. We'll select that. So you notice that we've got the current and the proposed holdings as well as the change. So these were the changes that were implemented earlier this year. So a bit more in-depth information regarding to the switch screen and this particular tab. I'd ask if you can revisit our webinar that we held earlier in the year. So now let's focus on the proposed fees, so the new up-and-coming changes that are coming to North Online soon. So we're clicking to the proposed fees, and as you can see, we've got the account fee, the administration fee, the investment management costs, and the total ongoing fees. So as a result of this particular switch that we're undertaking, the administration fee will be, we've got $74.49. Then we've got the investment management costs and then the ongoing fees. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to make a change to this to show you the differences. So note that the administration fee is based upon the total portfolio value. So all fees and taxes are their estimates only, of course, and the amount charged may vary as a result of information that we've got that will scroll down in a couple of moments' time. So within that fee table, we've got the proposed fees breakdown. So again, that is lumped together according to the investment types. We've got cash at the top, managed funds, then listed securities, depending on the changes that you're making. So this particular change was a sell of one managed fund to another. You can notice that we've got Magellan, we're selling out of that, and we're buying into the North Index. So we've got the admin fees breakdown. We've also got the percentages as well, and what that investment is according to the fee type for that particular investment. So the three fees that we've got outlined here are all choice menu options under the My North investment menu fees. We've got them as the fee rate, as a percentage. We've also got it as a dollar amount as well. It's really handy. But we mentioned earlier in our session that if you hover over the question mark and you select it, it will show you the fee table that will show the fees that are associated with those investments. So really handy. You don't have to flick back to the PDS or go out of the screen, go to the PDS, check the fees. North is just making it easier and easier for you to reduce your cost to serve. So looking at this, really great information in that table there. We're going to kick across. We're looking at the investment costs. So of course, they're going to be different per managed fund that you're looking at. So we've got the differences between the two there. And the amounts, of course, as a percentage and as a dollar amount. I'm going to hover over the question mark, and it will talk a little bit about the managed fund indirect costs. And then we've got the transaction fees. So you'll notice on this side here, we've got for the buy, remember we spoke about that in depth earlier. For the buy, it outlines the amount. There's no brokerage, of course, because this is a managed fund, but we've got the buy-sell costs that are lumped together in the buy, and we don't have anything in the sell, as you notice there. And if you hover over the question mark as well, it gives you information regarding that. We'll scroll down just a touch, and you can see the proposed ongoing fees. So we've got a table as well as a graphic on the left-hand side of your screen there. So we've got the current account fee, current proposed and the changes. You notice that that doesn't change. And then we've got the administration fee. So it does actually slightly change there. So we've got the current, the proposed, which actually, declines a little bit. And we've got the percent and the dollar amount of the change. And then we've got the investment management costs. So it is a reduction as a result of this switch that we're just carrying out there. So remember, if you're on the phone to your client who's fee sensitive, you can say, yep, and they want to switch investments, you can say to them, well, let's have a look at a couple of these different managed funds, and you can compare the fees between each. So we've done that just there. Then we've got a graphic that shows the current and proposed fees. It's really great. We'll hover over that. It shows you the percentage amount. Then over on the right-hand side of the screen, we've got the proposed one-off fees. So when we're talking those one-off fees, we're talking that buy-sell cost. Remember, that is at the time of the buy, and that's highlighted as $4.40 there. We've also got a bit of a graphic there too as well. So as we mentioned at the bottom of the page, we're talking about the fees are subject to change because all fees and taxes are estimates only based upon the current proposed value of your investments calculated today, so as of today. And those figures should only be used as a guide, and the actual amount charges may change. And we mentioned earlier the family fee capping has not been applied to the admin rate. So therefore, this account is a part of the family group and the total fees agreed outside that cap. So it doesn't take into consideration the sequencing or when the fees are applied in terms of those caps. It talks a little bit about investment costs as well, and I'll let you read through all of these too. So we're going to scoot back up the top of the screen because we're going to flick back to the switch screen. We're going to go back to the switch instruction. We're going to make a couple of changes. So the client has changed their mind. They don't want the North Index balance, my North Index balance. Let's scroll down a touch, and they want to buy some listed securities. So a couple of ETFs that we've got there. So this particular client wants $1,000. This particular ETF and $1,000 in the Vanguard Australian Shares Index. So what we're going to do now is we're going to scoot up a touch now. And we're going to look at the proposed investment holdings. So remember, we examined that earlier. So we're highlighting the changes to the portfolio for current, proposed, and the change. When you go to the new proposed fees tab that's coming soon, let's see what the changes are now. So the admin fee hasn't changed there. So the account fee hasn't changed, but the administration fee has changed, investment management costs, and the ongoing fees as well, the total of those. And if we look a little bit further down, in terms of that breakdown, it will tell you about the percentages and the changes there. So we're looking at those two ETFs. We've got the percentage changes there for the administration fee rate and dollar amounts. And then moving across, we've got transaction fees. So notice before when we had two managed funds, there was no brokerage included in that, but there was the buy-sell cost there. So we've got brokerage at $34 for each of these. If we scoot down just a touch, it'll tell you about the changes that are being made, talks about the current and proposed and the change for the account fee, admin fee, and the investment management costs as well. So slightly down, we've got the current and proposed graphs. And then over this side, it's going to be totaling the $234 brokerage for each of those two equities. And the total totals out to $68 just there. And we've got the graphic that's on there as well. So lots of information at your disposal, and you can keep flicking back. So the good thing about this is you can flick back to your switch instruction, make some changes, and head back to proposed fees. And you notice that it only took me a couple of seconds to do that. So very, very easy. And then once you're happy with it, if you're still on the phone to your client, what you can do is just hit the download CSV. So you can download that to CSV, keep it on file, make the changes, flick back, or you can take a screenshot, however you'd like to do it. But we've got the download CSV button, which is really handy. So let's go ahead and select that button to show you what it will look like. So convert to CSV file. I'll open up that file there. So it just shows the download of all the information that was available on your screen. So you can keep that handy there on your file there, save it to the client file, or you could flick back and make some further changes, if desired, of course. So what we're going to do, if we're happy with these changes that we're making, on North Online, like everything, we're going to proceed. So we're going to scroll all the way down for the client. We're going to select Next. We're heading to the investment instructions screen. We're now within the client's standing investment instructions. So the changes that we're making on the account will ask that if you can, review this information and will affect the investments if you already have them in your automatic buy, sell, and rebalance profiles. You might want to tweak those funds, remove them, put the new funds in, or just review this information. And to do that, you just scroll down your screen. I'm going to keep scrolling. You can see the automatic buy, sell, and rebalance profiles. So if we were going to remove a particular fund from this list and add to it, what we're going to do is we're going to remove Magellan from this particular buy profile. I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to also zero it out from the rebalance profile as well. So it'll automatically tell you that the profile only is up to 92.5%. We need to add the remaining amount. So let's do that. So we've just made those changes. We're going to keep scrolling down. I'm going to hit next to proceed to the pre-submit documentation screen. So now we're at the pre-submission documentation screen, and before we proceed with this request, we'll learn a little bit more about some of the changes that are coming that you can probably already see on your screen there, and we'll revisit this in a couple of moments' time. So now I'd like you to introduce you to the second enhancement that we're delivering. So we're talking about the ability to download ROA data, which will help you complete an ROA associated with an investment switch. So again, it's all about making your lives easier, saving you time, and creating efficiency, and it reduces your cost to serve. So we've got the new Download ROA Data button. So the new Download ROA Data button on the pre-submission screen will enable a data extract to be downloaded once a switch is ready for submission, like we had just before in our screen. So any changes made on the switch instructions and investment instructions screen will be captured within this data export. The Download ROA button will always provide today's ROA data estimates. So if you're making some changes for a client, you have your client on the phone, you're going through the differences between the different fees, and you've come to an agreement, so yep, no problems, but your client might be coming into your office tomorrow, or you're going to save that information to save to resume and come back to it tomorrow or any other day. Please note that the data download which you've just done will always provide today's ROA data estimate. So what do you need to do in that scenario? Well, you need to go back in and reselect the data button. Will provide a refresh of that data. This download will contain data estimates supporting the completion of a switch-related ROA. And what does that include? There's general information, so the client and advisor name, the account number, etc., like we saw just before. The summary of those changes. It's going to include the buy-sell instructions. And again, the proposed asset allocation as well. And importantly, the fees breakdown as well. So this is what it looks like on the screen, the pre-submission documentation screen. We've got the transaction request that you may need for the client to sign and keep on file according to your licensee agreement. Please note when submitting on North Online for a switch, you won't need to provide that to the North Service Center. Remember, the switching is all in real time. You've got the ability at your fingertips to submit that change then and there. We don't need the client signature at the North Service Center. But again, you may need to keep that on file. Once you've done that, you've got the Download ROA Data button. So select that particular button, and it's going to bring you that Excel spreadsheet with all of that information included. Select that button, and this is what it will look like. So the new Download ROA Data button, Data Extract. Let's have a look. So the first thing it does, it has the summary of those changes. So that's what it'll look like. So it has the investment code, either APIR code or ASX code, the investment type. So you've got cash, term deposit, you might have managed funds or equities. And then we've got the current holdings, and then we've got the buy and sell, as well as the proposed, so what it will look like thereafter. Then we've got the buy-sell instructions. So what does that look like? So there we go. So it shows the buy, the sell allocation, and the rebalance in terms of a percentage amount. Also talks a little bit about the cash account as well. And it also includes your automatic sell instructions on the account too. So there's a lot of information available at your disposal. And then we've got the proposed asset allocation. So what does that look like? There we go. So we'll show the defensive cash, Australian fixed interest, growth, Australian equities, property, whatever it might be, the current. So what is it currently proposed? So in terms of what is it for the changes that you're making? And then what is the difference between the two? What is the change? And then we've got the fees breakdown. So it looks exactly like this. So it really does mimic the screen that you've got on North Online for that table, showing the fee breakdown. And really important, it shows the individual fees, including brokerage, buy-sell costs for each investment as well. So lots and lots of information available at your disposal. So now we're coming back to Kate, the advisor. So her client has had a bit of a think about the switch changes Kate provided and got back to her with a decision just a couple of days later. So Katie's now just about to submit that switch, and she's at the pre-submission documentation screen and is about to start completing the ROA for her client. So what should she do? Now that the switch is ready to go, Kate can select the Download ROA Data button and use the information provided in the data download to help complete her ROA. So it's doing everything for her. What are the benefits of that? Well, by using the data estimates in this download to complete her ROA, Kate will save a significant amount of time and again, reducing her cost to serve, of course. Now let's jump back to North Online to that pre-submission screen and we'll have a look at this in a real life scenario. So let's do that now. So now we're back onto North Online. We're at the pre-submission documentation screen. You can see the two documents on the left-hand side that the client may need to sign in terms of your licensing agreement. A reminder again, North doesn't need that at the North Service Centre when you're submitting on North Online. So there's your two forms, but here over to the right-hand side, you can see that Download ROA Data button. So let's give it a click. Let's choose it. So now let's open up our spreadsheet. You'll notice across the top, it says the estimated portfolio after the switch at that particular date. Note that the limitations of the data outlined at the bottom of the page, which we'll look at in a second. We've got the client details there. We've also got the balance, advisor name, and then further down, we've got the summary of those changes. So notice it's lumped together, and we've got the unit ID, which is either the APIR code or the ASX code listed just there, the investment type. Then we've got current, I'll make it a little bit bigger there, current value, and then we've got the buy and sell there as well. So notice in the cell, it's denoted by a red color to help that stick out a little bit further there. And then we've got proposed as well. And we've got the proposed sell instructions. So we'll scroll down just a little bit there. So proposed buy and sell instructions, and this, it denotes that from the client account, which is lots of handy information when you're doing a switch, of course. Buy and sell. And then investment product name, the buy profile, and the rebalance profile listed as well. So all relative to the switch that you're undertaking, helping to reduce errors along the way as well. We'll scroll down, we'll look at the proposed asset allocation. So for the asset allocation, it shows you the current and the proposed values, including the change amount as well. So you can tell the client, well, as a result of the particular change that you're making, do you know that it is reducing the defensive amount of the portfolio? It will be increasing Australian equities as a result of this change, and so on and so forth. And then, really important, we've got fees. So it shows the ongoing fees per annum. So we've got current, the percentage of that total. You can see the fees in terms of how high they are according to the particular investment. The percentage of those, the total, the dollar change, and the percentage change as well. And then further down, we've got transaction fees. So we've got the one-off fees amount. In this particular scenario, we're buying those two equities. Then we've got the brokerage that's included there. And notice the $0 amount for the buy-sell costs. When we're selling those managed funds, remember, will only appear as a part of the buy transaction. Scroll down just a touch there. And then we show the proposed percentage, investment dollar, and percentage as well. So lots and lots of information that is available at your disposal. Has some disclaimers on your screen too, especially if you're looking at forwarding this detail to your client. If you get those clients that are checking their account every single day, this might be handy to shoot across to them. So lots and lots of information on your screen there. And then once you're done doing that, you could save this, of course, or you could save it to your client file, send it to your client, whatever you'd like to do. Once you're done, so you're ready to go and submit your request on North Online as desired. At this stage, you could hit Save to Resume. So if you hit Save to Resume, it'll go to your activities within the client account and you come back to it at another time. Or alternatively, if you're ready to proceed, open the two documents, tick the boxes to confirm whenever you're ready, The submit button will become available to you. Click submit. So lots and lots of information there. So hopefully that demonstration has helped a bit. So now let's talk about some of the support tools that we have to help you to take back into your practice. First is the switch guide on North Online is being updated and will be published ready for you to go. Let's jump onto North Online to show you where that document is stored. On North Online, head to the support heading just across the top, down to training resources. This is where you're going to find the step-by-step guides on transacting on North Online, including how to switch investments. This webinar will be published on North Online, and we show you where that was earlier in our show, and the Education Hub for future reference as well. And then you've got your BDMs and the North Service Centre. They're being trained on those enhancements, so you can give us a call in the North Service Centre, contact your BDM, or we've also got North Chat available, so you can chat with a friendly North Service Centre consultant while you're working. Whatever you would call through to the North Service Centre for, you can also chat to them about. On the conclusion of your chat, you can also ask for a transcript. We've got lots of support available to you, including there's a FAQ on enhancements available from the product journal. And then finally, a walkthrough will pop up, will appear for the first time you log on to North Online following when the changes are implemented. So lots and lots of tools you can take back with you into your practice. As always, we've got important information due to the publication of this document and our webinar today. So please have a bit of a read through this information when you get a chance there. So I know that you've been asking questions. There's been some great questions coming through, and I ask please keep your questions coming through if you haven't asked a question already. As a reminder, on the left-hand side menu, select the chat icon and type in a question, and we'll endeavour to respond to you within the next 24 to 48 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep our webinar open for another couple of minutes more to ensure you have time to reach out and ask those questions, those burning questions. So as we mentioned earlier, we're going to collate all of the questions with their answers and get them out to you along with a copy of this pack at the conclusion of this session within the next 24 to 48 hours. So keep this running. So please stay online to answer a couple of quick survey questions that we have, because we're always looking to improve North, to reduce your cost to serve, and looking for the enhancements that you need according to your business requirements. So as mentioned, your feedback today has been really integral to the changes that you've seen today, and it certainly will do well into the future. So it's really important, if you can, please answer some of the questions that we do have, including, was the webinar helpful for you on a rating of scale yes or no? How would you rate the changes on North Online? Do you think these enhancements will save you time? Yes is a 5, 1 is a no. And really important, what other enhancements would you add the most value to your advice business? So it's really your opportunity. So I'd like to thank you very much for your attendance today, very, very much, and your support of the North platform as we deliver new and important solutions to support you, your business, and your clients. So these changes will help hopefully to reduce your overall cost to serve using the North platform. So we really think that you'll like these changes. So from me, Joe Tadaro, it's goodbye from now, and hoping to see you in another webinar session soon.